Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and today you'll probably get wondering why we're not in the workshop. We're up in my office. For one of two reasons actually. One, my workbench is currently covered with bits of that Zenith 286, the motherboard's all over the workbench, and I didn't fancy moving all that just to make this quick video. Second part is it involves the computers I've got up here anyway, and that is I've bought myself this. This, if you haven't guessed from the title of the video already, is a Greaseweazle. Now, I will fully admit I don't know a huge amount about this thing. From what I can gather from videos that I've watched and stuff, it seems to be a cheaper alternative or a cheaper version of the CryoFlux. So essentially it's a way of connecting a computer up to some old disk drives and allowing you to copy data from the old disks onto a modern PC, and more importantly, and the reason that I've got it is vice versa. So I can take disk images made on some of my old systems and use this to transfer them onto actual physical media I can use in my old computers. Now, why have I bought this when I've got a perfectly good bridge PC here? This actually does quite a lot of that. And there's a 486 on the other, over there on the other side of me, next to the 380Z, which I have set up purely to make discs for the 380Z. It's actually got a single-sided double density drive in it, and I just use IDBM on that just to create discs for the 380Z, because that's currently got a high density drive in it and it won't make a disc that the 380Z will read. That will work for lots of other things. I've actually made discs for, like BBCs and other PCs and stuff using the high density drive, and it's worked fine. But it's not perfect for the job. Other thing this can't really do is make discs that will read on an Amiga. It can make discs that will read on later Macintoshes, providing the 1.44 meg floppy disks. This will actually make discs that are compatible with that. It can make discs that will run on like an Atari ST and things like that. But like I said, it does have its limitations, the software and the way the hardware is set up. But it does have other things. It's got a SCSI card in there, it's got IDE in there, so it's useful for getting data off SCSI IDE hard drives, transferring data onto SCSI and IDE hard drives, so that will be staying about. The thing with this is it's a little board with a USB on it and a disk drive connector on the other side, and you can literally use a laptop, anything really, to connect to it, to connect between some old floppy drives and, like I said, the modern environment. Anyway, I'm waffling a bit now, so what I thought we'd do is, this is literally how it's arrived. These are only cheap, unlike the CryoFluxes, which are reasonably expensive. I think this was £22 plus a little bit of postage, so it was it was relatively cheap. So what I thought we'll do, we'll open it up now, we'll have a look what's in the box, and we'll see how much work it's going to take, hopefully, to get this so I can actually read a disc with it and possibly even write a disc with it in this video. And then obviously we'll do some more in-depth things with it if indeed it is useful and a good little device. We'll do some more in-depth things with it in future videos, but like I said, this is just a little introduction. I've seen people play with these on YouTube videos. Is it Tech Tangents? I think it may have been one that did a video recently where he was playing with this in a CryoFlux. Anyway, so I'll reset the camera up, we can get it on the bench here, and we'll open this up and we'll take a look at it, so back in a sec. Right, I've got you down on the bench, so let's get this open. This is tape shut. Let me just open the box. Come on. There we go. Try get the box open without tearing it, because these are handy little boxes. There we go. Right. So what do we have in the box? We've got a QR code there. And there is there's the Greaseweazle. And we don't get any documentation and everything with it. All the documentation for it is really online. Let's get this thing open. We can have a look at it. Right. I will just touch a radiator. I haven't got my anti-static strap up here, but I will just ground myself on the radiator before I handle this thing. So what's it based on? We've obviously got a little microprocessor in the centre there. Bit of glue logic, timing crystal, some voltage regulation, and that's really it. I believe I've seen like homebrew versions of these. I mean, it is I think it's an open source design thing, because I've seen these made using, you know, like an Arduino or something like that on a little board. But yeah, that looks okay. We've got 5 volt and ground there. That's our power. That's our disk drive connector there. So I need a USB cable. That's right, enable. I'm sorry, I'm just having a look at just some of the silk screen on here to see what it's actually talking about. But what I will do now, I will go and get the software for this. I will go and follow the GitHub link there. It's actually printed on the back of the card there, and I will download the software and everything we need for this, and I'll dig a disk drive out. I think I've got something up there that might be suitable that we can use for testing this thing. So I'll dig a disk drive out, and we'll give this a try. We'll get it connected up to a computer, and we will see what this thing actually does. So back in a sec. Right, okay, we're back, and as you've noticed, I've dug a little netbook out here. Try as I might, I could not get the software to work on my main PC. I could get the driver for the little Greaseweazle to install, so I could actually see the Greaseweazle under Windows, no problem with that. But the actual software to control the Greaseweazle, even the command line software to control the Greaseweazle, I just could not get it to work on my main PC, and they're both running Windows 7, so it's not as though it was a different version of Windows or something. But it seems to work on my little netbook here. Anyway, I'll go through what I've had to do to get this working, because it's not just as simple as plug and play with this thing. Essentially what you need to do is you need to download this little piece of software called I don't know how you pronounce that, whether it's Zyag or ZA-Diag 2.7. If you go to the GitHub page for the Greaseweazle, it will show a link to this. I'll just load it up now. Can you actually see what I'm see if I can get you a little bit further on the screen so you can actually see what's happening on the screen here. Come on, you stupid camera. Oh, this is... Oh, see if I can do it with the remote. This camera's got issues. The zoom on it keeps playing up like that. I'll zoom in and it'll zoom itself. It's I'm sorry, you'll just have to stick with that. I'm going to have to save up and buy a new camera. Right, you want to allow the... I don't know if you can see that now. Let me just bear with me a second, folks. I'll just see if I can get you a better image on the screen so we can actually see what I'm doing. So back in a sec. Right, hopefully you can see that, and hopefully it's not going to try and zoom itself out again. Right, so basically we can get off this. Do you want to allow this software to make changes on the computer because it's not Microsoft verified? Of course we do. We'll let the piece of software load up, and here it is. This is this ZA diag, that's what I'll call it anyway. And essentially this is what you need to use to be able to install the driver for the Greaseweazle. And it's as simple as going up to options there, list all options, list all devices. Then we've slipped on here. We'll see the Greaseweazle. We'll select that, and then it's a case of selecting the driver to USB serial CDC like that. Hit upgrade driver, or it'll say either install driver or yeah, you can see that it'll say either install driver or update driver. Yeah, click that. It does take a while and you think the computer's not doing anything, but eventually it'll come up with a little screen updating driver. About 5 minutes or so later it'll come up, update successful. And that's basically put the Greaseweazle's device driver into Windows, so Windows can actually communicate with the device. Now once you've done that, basically you've got the Greaseweazle software itself. We'll click on here. Now this is all command line software, so essentially you open up a DOS command prompt, you navigate to this folder, you type in GW, and basically it's old school. It's like using some of the old command line software that we've used in the past, like on the C6, you know, for making C64 disks on a DOS PC and stuff like that. Fortunately, couple of people have come up with GUIs for this, which does make things a little bit nicer. Now we've got the Greaseweazle GUI. I haven't actually managed to get this one to work yet. If I type on that, and I think it's just a there we go. We've got a .NET framework. This application, you must install one of the following versions of the .NET framework, and it's version 4 point something something. So I'll have to look into that, because I wasn't getting that error on my other computer. It was just the fact that the actual Greaseweazle software itself wouldn't seem to work. But there is also this one, which is called Flux My Fluffy Floppy, and this does appear to actually work. Let me see if you've got that on screen there. Okay. So this is Flux My Fluffy Floppy. It's got a 64-bit or a 32-bit version. This is just a 32-bit version of Windows 7. So if we and basically what you do with this is you load it and you actually drop the Greaseweazle software into that folder there. And this is, again, it's just a GUI shell for the actual command lines, which just makes it a little bit easier to use. We'll load this up, and here we go. Apparently, actually, this will work. This Greaseweazle will work with the CryoFlux software, but I've not actually had a chance to actually play with that yet. Like I said, I'm going to be making other videos on this piece of hardware if it indeed does seem to work alright. So we've got the software up there now, and what I think we'll try and do is actually use it to read out a PC disk. I'm not going to try doing anything fancy with it yet, because I've not really messed with any of the software, and I don't think this software here is as advanced as some of the other like bits and bats you can get for this thing, or indeed like the CryoFlux software. But I've got a big stack of 5 1/4 inch 360k PC formatted floppy disks here. So we'll dig one of these out. In fact, that one would be a good one to dig out. We've got this is actually an original Amstrad Gem desktop disk. It looks in. Oh, actually no, that's actually got physical damage to the disk, so we won't try that one. Let's see if I've got something else in here. Oh, I've got another one. Oh, it's is that the same disc? I know I did used to have loads and loads of these. It's a shame I haven't got a full set anymore. I've got another one here. This is disc 3 Gen Desktop Locomotive Basic. So what we can do, let's set this up now. So template, and we've got a 5 1/4 360k double density disc. Format specifications, it's a, we'll go down here, IBM 360, click on that. That should be all the information we need to put in there. We need to give a file name, which we'll try as test, and we will select a format to save it in. We've got quite a nice selection down here. If we go down to the bottom, we have got IMG disk image, which I've got software on the Bridge PC which can read them, so we'll use that. So we've got IMG disk image there. We've got the computer. Let me get you zoomed out a little. Oops. Get you zoomed out a little bit. What I've got it connected up to, this is just a PC 360k floppy drive in an external case. I actually use this with a Spectrum floppy disk interface. I made this up ages ago to use with a 48k Spectrum in a disk interface, but it is basically just a PC 360k floppy drive in a box. And it terminates on the right edge connector to plug straight in to the Greaseweazle. And that just reminds me something else I need to set on here. We need to, the device, so we need to set that to COM3, which is the Greaseweazle, and drive most importantly. Now this, because this is set up with the standard Stuttgart standard, and that will be drive 0. The Greaseweazle can actually detect whether it's set up as a drive 0 or whether it's actually using the PC style with the twist and A and B. So we will set that to drive 0, seeing that's how that floppy disk drive is actually set up. Stick that in the drive, and I think that should be everything. We should be able to hit read there, and this should start reading that disk out. You saw the floppy disk there. It does seem to be working. I don't know whether this is actually me able to get any information off the disk. It does seem to be reading it though. It could just be that this disc is well worn, well knackered, and it can't get anything off it. Although apparently the whole point of these things is they can read discs that other things can't read. I have got a green light flashing away on the actual, I don't know if you can make that out there, but there is a green light flashing away on the Greaseweazle there, so it's definitely actually reading data. We haven't just got the red power light on it, the actual green data light is flashing on and off. And we obviously have the light on the actual disk drive. What I will do is I'll leave this going for a while, and I will come back when it's indeed done anything, or if it fails or what have you. So back in a sec. Right, I'm back. I've actually stopped it now because I've just realised. I keep thinking, I'm sure that is a 360k drive. Yeah, I made a mistake. This is actually only a single head drive, which I mean is a good thing. I'll definitely be able to use this drive for things. This, like I say, I did set this up to use with a Spectrum. But that will be the reason why I was getting all those errors when I was trying to read that PC format of discs. Obviously that's a double-sided, double-density disc. And this is a single-sided, double-density drive. So, yeah. I did have to just pop the top off there just to double-check. And, yeah, that was the mistake I've made. Like I say, it's some significant time since I put this floppy disk together, and it was put together for a specific purpose of using with a Spectrum. So what I'll probably do, I'm going to have to dig through all my floppy drives and find a suitable floppy drive we can try with this. I'm not going to do it in this video. This video was just a quick, really quick unboxing video of the actual Cryoflux itself. Not the Cryoflux, sorry, the Greaseweazle. Because I want to have a quick look at it and see whether it's actually going to be of any use for me. Like I say, it was dirt cheap. It was 20 odd quid compared with like a Cryoflux, which are, you know, getting on for like the 100 quid kind of mark. So what I'll do, I will do some more proper research on this thing. I've only spent, you know, an hour this evening really fiddling about with this thing just to get it so at least I know that the unit works. I can get it to interface with a laptop or something. I don't know why it won't work properly with my, well, it won't work at all with my main Windows 7 desktop system there. What I might indeed do, I've got another old laptop like this one, which I don't use anymore. I might stick a scratch, you know, a really basic installation of Windows 7 on that, and just set that up to use with the, pardon me, just to use with the Greaseweazle, and take it from there, see if I can get it working a little bit better. I might even see if I can have a mess about with the command line software, see if that's any better, and also I'll dig out a better floppy disk so we can actually try doing it with a I thought that was a double-sided, double-density one, so I must have two single-sided, single-density drives, because I know I definitely have one over in the PC behind me that I use with the 380Z. Excuse me. But that's the whole idea of this, is that instead of having a full PC, your 486 PC dedicated to that purpose, with something like this and that and a little laptop, I can, you know, just make discs for whatever computer I need to make them for. So yeah, this is literally just a quick little look over of this thing. You know, it arrived on my doormat this afternoon, and I thought I'll dig it out and see what I can actually do with it. I'm reasonably pleased with what I've got for like 20 odd quid. I know you can actually build the damn things for, to be honest, once you've bought the little the dev board you need and messed about making the little interface to connect it to a floppy header and everything, you're going to be nearly at 20 quid anyway. So that was well worth buying. What my plan is really what I want to do is encase that in a case with the floppy drive, like a 3.5 and a 5.25 inch floppy drive, and just have the USB coming out the back, so I can just plug it into like whatever computer I want to use it with, whether it be a little laptop or a desktop system or anything, and just be able to access it that way. So whether I want to write some discs for a vintage system, or I want to read some discs I've found somewhere, because I do have loads and loads and loads of discs that have just come from random places, which I'm not sure what's on them, I'm not sure what format they are. I need to be able to find them things out and actually see whether there's any useful data on them. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. Like I said, you will definitely be seeing another video on this thing when I've had a little bit more experience and a little bit more practice off camera, looking at what this thing will actually do. I would really like to see whether I can get it to work with that that CryoFlux software I saw Tech Tangents playing about with it because the software just looked a lot nicer, a lot more intuitive than what I've just been messing with. Although, you know, this isn't too bad, and the other one which I couldn't get to work on this system's got an even nicer looking GUI interface. I'm not sure whether you can really get every single feature doing it that way as where when you actually use the command line. You know, it's a little bit more powerful if you actually drive it through the command line and everything. But there's plenty of YouTube videos that I'm going to have to watch, and there's plenty of stuff on the web and on the GitHub forums and stuff on this thing. So I need to do some more research. But like I said, I'm quite pleased with what, I think it was £22, and there might have been a little bit of postage on that, but I don't think there was much. Right, I'm going to leave it there for now. I hope you enjoyed this like little introduction-y, unboxing-y, rambly video. So stay tuned for something more when I get a chance to play with this. And before that, I've got to get on with that Zenith and get the Zenith 286 at least back together, because it's currently spread all over my workbench. So I will say thanks for watching and goodbye.